TC?
Hi, everybody, and welcome. It's Jason Barnard with Zara Altair. How are you, Zara, today?
I'm good, Jason. Thank you for having me here.
Brilliant. Welcome to everybody who's watching. We're going to be talking about building authority for your business, the key steps for discoverability. And Benjamin Barr will join us in a moment. But before that, I'll start with a song. A quick hello, and we're good to go. Welcome to the show, Zara Altair. I'm Benjamin Barr, but he isn't here yet.
I love the singing. I forgot about the singing. I love the singing.
Oh, Benjamin. I'll just do the song for Benjamin. A quick hello, and we're good
Well,
to go.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, Benjamin Barr. And we're live, Benjamin. Welcome. We're going to be talking about building authority for your business, key steps for discoverability. I'm going to start with introductions. Zara, I've talked to you online many times. We've never actually met face to face. It's delightful to meet you.
it's great to be here. I know. We have talked many times.
Over several years as well.
Over several years. I know. Since you first started coming live online, because I was live way back like 10 years ago, and then I stopped going live. So,
Right. Yeah, well, the going live online is all Anton Schulke's fault. So everybody can blame him for this. And so you're actually a novelist rather than an SEO consultant or a digital marketing geek.
Yeah, I'm a writer. So I write online content, and I do fiction as well. But I strongly believe that people who write for the web need to understand what's going on so they can help their clients create the best content possible.
Right, which is absolutely where we need to be. Now, Benjamin, you came out of left field. Zara said we have to do something with Benjamin. Why did she say that? What special talent do you have that I had never seen before?
Because she fell in love. She fell in love with my French accents.
Ah,
Yeah,
No, what I
French
kept
accent.
seeing online, well, on LinkedIn was Benjamin would come on with these really smart little things to say, and I was like, "Ooh, I have to meet this person."
right. Brilliant. So you guys know each other. We're now a happy trio talking about building your authority for your business, key steps for discoverability. And anybody in the audience who has a question, please pop it in the chat and we will answer it as we go along. Now, I think, Benjamin, you should introduce yourself then. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you care so much about brand and discoverability?
Well, so Benjamin, I'm French, as my accent betrayed me. I'm SEO consultant for 13 years now. I started to work as SEO in the web agency in Paris, France. And after 8 years of loyal services, I decided to work in my own symphony. And I'm a freelancer now since 2018.
Brilliant. Wonderful. So,
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if just can finish. And I work especially with a industrial company, and it's a teeny detail that I love to promote because I think there is a lot to do with this kind of company, this kind of industry, and this is why I still promote the fact that I do SEO, especially for industrial company.
Right, yeah, because we don't generally think about SEO for industrial company. We think about SEO for e-commerce, which is the obvious target. How does it differ?
Because I don't know. I like the roots, the raw matters that need to be met, that need to be mixed. And the work in industrial company is much complex, but much excited than any e-commerce than we could work with, or any big brands. Firstly, because of the budgets. Second, because of the lack of experience, the lack of knowledge about the web, about the search. And I think this is a good terrain to work with.
Right. So with industrial companies, you're looking a lot at digital transformation.
Yeah.
Right, which is absolutely lovely, because it's a whole new world that you're presenting to
Yeah,
people who don't really
exactly.
know it.
Because yes, it's like nurture a baby and look at him grow.
Right, brilliant, wonderful. So we've been looking at rankings for years and years and years. Right back 1998 when I started, everyone's I need to rank number one, and that's changed fundamentally. And you guys are both talking about the discoverability, and that ranking is a fading aspect of what SEO and SEO practitioners should do, and it's much more about discoverability. Do you want to start with that, Zara?
Yeah, I have a little slide presentation, so I can.
All right, brilliant. Ooh,
Let me present and see what happens.
yeah.
Okay, share
Boom.
screen and
Discoverability and authority is what it's now all about. That's where we're going, and in fact, that's where we already are. If you're not discovered and you're not authoritative, you've got no chance of ranking in any of the different vertical results. Are you okay there, Zara, with the screen share?
can you see now?
Nope. But if you send me a link to the Google slide, if it's a Google slide, I can share it.
No, but I'll send you a link here. Copy. It's not sharing. Oh wait, share.
Ah, here we go. Brilliant.
Et
Wonderful.
voila.
The wonders of modern technology. Off you go, Zara. Wonderful. I can sit back and
Okay,
enjoy.
so I just want to welcome everyone, and this started out a couple of months ago with how to approach the generative AI experience, because that was something brand new and it keeps changing, but the fundamentals are the same. So let's just hop into this. Get started. Come on, little thing. Let's go. Why is it not going?
I'm going to be taking
There we
notes
go.
on my
Okay, what we're going to look at
super
today.
tablet here.
Yeah. Learn to approach search marketing as building authority instead of chasing clicks. I just want to turn your head around about what you want to be doing for your clients, and understand the role of business ontologies in search, display, and creating your vocabulary, and what it does for the search discoverability. The importance of knowledge graphs and entity connections, which Jason knows all about. And we're going to explore authorship, and hidden gems are coming up. I just saw a note about that on Twitter just last night, I guess, for building authority. And basically, from my point of view, developing a comprehensive content strategy for optimizing your discoverability online. All right, so what is generative AI? It's a technology that leverages neural networks to generate data similar to what it's trained on. So it's trained on one thing, and then it's able to present things that are similar to what it has learned already. So AI is fed a lot of data, and it learns how that data behaves. And then once it's trained, it can generate new data based on what it's learned. And the reason that's important is it has the potential to disrupt many fields such as content creation and marketing. So that results in shifts in search emphasis. Um, it's the fading importance of ranking, which we talked about a minute ago. As AI gets better at understanding user intent, the importance of rankings is slowly fading away. And I'm going to talk in a minute about it's not just the user intent, but how you develop a way to demonstrate your intent so those two intents can match, as it were. And the importance of building authority. It's becoming increasingly important for successful search discovery that you have the authority of your business, whatever it is. For instance, Benjamin's industrial company, or whatever it is. I'm going to give a specific example in a minute. And also that we need to be aware of the changing role of technical SEO. With generative AI, the role of technical SEO is shifting toward improving the user experience rather than keyword optimization. So what you want to do is to teach Google who you are. That is your main goal. And then Lily Ray came up with this great quote the other day. She said, "It seems too many people are writing content based on search volume as opposed to writing content based on what they actually know." All right. So let's look at what generative AI brings up for people and what it looks like. And I picked something. I love food in Venice, so here we go at Bistro di Venice in Venice. And what generative AI picks up the short description and also maybe some related links. And then underneath that are what is we've come to think as what happens on search results is the blue links um, and any knowledge graph about a business. But then with generative AI, you can also click up at the top and you'll get more intent, and it's more about that business. It goes into more detail, and you can keep doing that. It'll keep going. As you can see down at the bottom of the page here, there's more questions that you can ask. But what it means for you and your business is you want to build authority. So we're giving AI more data to train itself. So the more you teach about your business, the more data that you give it, the better it will be to understand your business and to respond with information about your business when somebody does a search. That's what this is all about. You don't want to come up as the answer. And I know Jason was all about answers and still is. And and so how do you build authority? And I just wanted to look at, here we go, homepage for Bistro de Venice. And right away, you know it's a restaurant. Right away, you see an image of food. And right away, you see their menu. And you know that their menu is all about um, historical food, and but they bring it alive in right now, and you can also customize your dinner. So right at the top of the page, we have something that tells us who they are, what their authority is, what they do, and then links, basic links to in the navigation about what else they do. So what you're thinking about is shifting your search marketing approach toward building authority. Search doesn't use keywords per se. It uses entities and element features to connect different pieces of information and build authority. It sees a data point and it connects it to a different data point. Okay, so that's what you want to think about to support the entity of your business. You want to shift your search marketing approach toward building your authority. And knowledge graphs for entity connections allow search engines to understand the relationship between different entities and build authority. And the role of ontologies in search display is they play a critical role by developing a structured vocabulary used to describe the entities and their relationships. And Jason, I think you've had people from WordLift on a couple of times talking
Yep. We
on
do a
top.
regular monthly roundtable with them. We just finished
Yeah,
one, which is
right.
why we started a little bit late. And I apologize.
That's okay. And then also the authorship, you want to make known who it is that actually writes your content. Um, and because you're showcasing your expertise and hidden gems coming up or previously unseen connections.
Right. Okay. Oh, I like the idea of hidden gems as being that previously unseen connections, because a lot of us assume that Google sees everything and understands everything. And actually, we have a huge role as human beings and company owners and website owners to connect some dots that Google hasn't seen. And that's beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to mention it a bit later.
Oh,
Is
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But it's so important is you make those connections. The easier you make the connections for search engines, the better they can understand your page instantly. All right. So here's a top of the page for the about page for the same entity, Bistro de Venise. And here's their chef. And one of the things I like about it is not only the visual of the chef and his name, etc., and his history, but that a life without research isn't worth living. And it's such a great quote from a chef because you don't normally think of chefs as doing research, but that's what this restaurant is all about. So right here, without any scrolling, your page visitor knows a lot about um, your business, and it's critical. That top of the page is critical for providing good user experience because you're optimizing not just for search engines but for your users. And I know I have said this a million times, but SEO gets people to your page, but then it's your job to get those people to relate to your page and to follow on and to take the actions that you want them to take. So you want to think how your customer thinks. And to create a great user experience, you need to understand how your customers think and what they're looking for. So you're matching their intent with your intent. And then I want to give you a brief, there we go. So a couple of weeks ago, an SEO invited me to help write content for for a new client they had, which was a sport fishing charter business. And they had set up a whole list of keywords, and they actually did a really good job because for the keywords they had questions that could be answered. um and let me pull this down a little so you can see this guy, the striped marlin. The sport fishing charter focused on blue marlin, black marlin, striped marlin, yellowfin tuna, mahi mahi, red snapper, sailfish, were all fish that you find out in deep sea. In the deep sea, you have to go way out in the water to find these fish and to catch them. So the information that the SEO had was all about this page, which was going to be about striped marlin fishing. All right. And how fast does a striped marlin swim? How fast, where can it be caught? Da 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 da. Was tons of information about. This is only the tip of the iceberg of what they had in their keywords.
Mm.
But the thing is, sport fishermen are not ichthyologists, all right? They are not studying fish. They're there to have a great adventure. They're there to go way out on the deep blue sea and to catch these great big huge fish. And the striped marlin is the biggest. And so I asked SEO, I said, what is it that you're telling these customers? Because what they want is for people to charter an adventure with their boats, right? You want them to go sport fishing. So where are you talking about this big adventure of catching this humongous fish? They're sometimes up to 400 pounds. And the challenge of reeling in that big fish, they have a really strong pull. It takes a long time. And the thrill of actually reeling them in, for instance, in the case of a striped marlin, it isn't even about food, they're catch and release. So it's all about the thrill of actually doing it, and that you have an experienced crew to assist in landing this big fish because it's going to be hours and hours of work. So I just wanted to use this as an example of uh, these customers don't need much information about fish itself, but they want that sport fishing adventure. They want the adventure of it all, the thrill of it all, and that you need to match that intent, the adventure, the thrill, with what you have on your website. So the whole idea is to build authority by shifting your search marketing approach from information about striped marlin or tuna, um, to emphasize the adventure of sport fishing. And this is how you get someone excited and get them to go, yes, I want to go do this. Oh, what a great idea. I want to charter a boat. All right, so let's look at some authority techniques. You want to create relevant content with context to improve that discoverability, and you want to convey authority through content to establish EAT, which is experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And just for example, with sport fishing, you want to know that these people know how to handle a boat in the deep sea, that they have experience catching fish, that they have the expertise to help you do it wisely and safely, and that they have the authority to take you out with whenever you're out in the water, it's life and death. Um, so you want to know how your customer thinks and understand their intent. And also that you want to have the visuals. You want a video and images uh, to help people understand. I love this little image from Bistro de Venise because,
Oh, right. I thought the gondola was going out deep sea fishing.
yeah, but I remember when I was there with my daughter, I ate there long ago before they were super famous. And we were sitting there eating, and all of a sudden, it was just like this. The gondola went by, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're really in Venice eating this fabulous food." And so it's important to bring that home to your site visitor. Is this is where they are and what they're doing. So let's talk about developing a comprehensive content strategy. You want to create relevant content with with context, so it all makes sense to your site visitor. Um, you want to convey your authority through your content, and remember that we're, instead of keywords, search engines are using vectors, and they are changing the way search goes by allowing to go beyond keywords and understand the intent behind search query. And without getting too technical, the vectors are like weighted values on the relationships between entities, words, those ontologies that you build for your business. And also that you want to use data to inform your content strategy and decisions. And Benjamin is going to be talking more about this in a minute. And to implement effective content distribution to make sure that you're distributing your content where your target audience is online. In other words, if they're not on TikTok, there's no point in your business being on TikTok because you're there to reach your target audience and to get them involved with your business. And you also can use schema, which is like a signal to the search engines for what you mean. It's like, this is our intent, and it helps the search engines match your intent with the search engines searcher's intent. So let's just briefly key takeaways about search. Teach Google who you are. If you get nothing else out of this presentation, is to teach Google who you are. That is what is important. Search marketing is shifting from marketing to building authority for your discovery. So entities, knowledge graphs, authorship, hidden gems are essential elements for building authority, and developing a comprehensive content strategy that conveys authority about your business in context and relevance is crucial for optimizing that discoverability. So you want the search engines to discover your business when somebody asks a question. All right. So data analysis, schema market, and effective content distribution and promotion are fundamental assets to comprehensive content strategy. So thank you very much. And next, we're going to have Benjamin talking about measuring all this stuff and how you can help your clients understand this new way of thinking about discoverability.
Brilliant, wonderful. That was great. I really, really like the clarity and the flow. Hugely helpful and very insightful. And for once, somebody talking about all these geeky things without making it too geeky, so that we can all get to grips with it and focusing on the user.
And I think part of it is Jason. You know, I've been hanging out with these SEO people for what 10 years now, and they get really geeky. But I think for writers, what we need to understand are the basic concepts so we can help people like that SEO who came to me with their new business and said, help me write for this business. And I'm like, wait, there's something really important missing in building authority for this business. That's how we can help as writers. Okay, that's it.
Which is lovely. Yeah, Benjamin, have you got a presentation or your?
No, just my
Right.
thoughts.
So now it's measuring, delivering, and making the client feel super happy with what we've done.
Right.
I will do some link with what Zara said already. But what we need to think first when we are an agency that need to teach to be a companion of customers is first to erase uh, our own understanding of search in order to not deep dive into all the data and SEO techniques and we know about for the last 20 years. because it's an easy way. And as Zara said, we don't talk about keywords anymore. We talk about entities for a long time. We don't talk about link building. We just talk about relevant link, and it's all makes the difference if we can shift our thoughts about that and take a step back and move on from the basics. So the third things to do is to make sure that the customers know about himself and what they want to do with their website and with their business. Because what I seen, especially in industrial company, is that there are too much focus. A lot of companies are too much focus on sales, and they do not breathe and look around them and look at the system they are running on, and it's it's a big pitfall for them to move on search because they are too attached to specific data that are not really relevant for the user, for the public they want to reach. And if agency can uh, talk to their customers, if they learn to listen, if they learn to ask the right question to their customers can start to look at the different way to measure their performance in the reality
Good.
and in the search.
Right, brilliant. Can I just come back one single step? What data are they focusing on that you need to shift them away from? You were saying they focus
They
on
need,
data that isn't necessarily helpful.
yeah. The fact is that there is too much data that we already focus on, like click, like bounce rates, and I think this is not the first data business needs to think about. They need to think about some specific data uh, within their own industry. Sales is important, okay, but what kind of sales?
Mhm.
Is there are there customers? Are they clients buy their products in online, in shop, by call, and it makes a lot of difference that just seeing a whole conversion rate and specific conversion from specific domain that can be um, I don't know what that can be added to a report that will be more
Mhm.
specific, okay, with much less data, but much relevant to the real concern of the businesses. Uh, I, if I may take an example with my main customers, it's a industrial company. It's a manufacturer IR platform. It's one of the leading manufacturer of IR platform in Europe, and the boss, the CEO, wants traffic. All he
Mhm.
wants is traffic. His only concern is to get traffic because he thinks that if he gets a lot of traffic, he will have much more leads, much more sales. And years after years, I talked with him. The marketing department talked with him. I talked to the sales team, and we agree that even if we improve the traffic from, I don't know, 0 to 100, there is no evidence that leads will grow too. So this is a kind of data all businesses need to focus on. What do what we want to do with our business, what we want to focus on, what kind of specific data, even if it's difficult to measure, but what kind of specific data is applicable to only our business and not to everyone.
Mhm. Okay, I
And
mean,
this is a tough exercise for the customers and for the agency too, because reports once again with J4 reports, and okay, you leave the customer with a big report with all of data that concern about traffic, bounce rate, number of page visited, extra. Okay, yes, but in the concrete, what we gain in working with you for the last 6 months. Okay, we have more keywords in top 3. Yes, we have a knowledge panel, but what's next? We do not have too much income. We didn't hire a new employee, and that was our purpose at the beginning, for example. And if the agency can start to rethink the way they talk and listen their customers, their clients, the clients will open differently to them, and a new way of working in content strategy, a new way of working in search will appear.
isn't
It's an
it
evidence.
isn't one of the problems that agencies have is that they have to have a system, therefore they have to approach every client with the same approach.
Yeah.
And the other problem with clients is they're not very good at introspection and understanding what they're actually looking for.
No, because they work with their own framework for a long time ago, and to change, it requires a lot of willingness, a lot of understanding of what we are doing wrong, what we are doing right. But it is an essential exercise for them and for their
Mm.
customers. This
And
is
do you have
the
do you
first
have
step
hints
is,
as to how you can get them to change their perspective from for the client, for example? When you talk to a client and they're really stuck in their perspective,
I
how do you approach
I
moving them?
already I only ask them questions. I'm curious about them, seriously curious. I want to know their history, what kind of people are working in their business. Do each departments work together or not? Do they have a common perspective of what they do, why they do, and this kind of simple question, I often have no answer, because this often the first time someone asks them some question about them, and they tend to have agency that are like solution provider. We have a solution for you. We propose you this kind of solution or this kind of solution, but they do not take the time to listen and to ask the right question about the current business, to have a really a good image of the context. Because if we have not context, we can move on around. We just have tools, and we use one, we use two, etc. And it's I don't know how to say it in English, but in French we have an expression that say bidouille, and It's like
Well,
putting
yeah,
his head everywhere and hopefully have
it's
a
called,
have an
in
answer.
English, it's tinkering. You tinker to
Tinkering.
make it work. You oh, I often use the term string and sellotape.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And the
I think one of the things that's important that Benjamin mentioned is that, especially when you're approaching a new client, um, that they're focused on traffic. If we can just get more people to come to our website, the universe will open, and we'll have more business, but but that's not it. And that thinking about building your authority has to do with getting the right traffic to your website, and that once that right traffic is there, giving them the information that they need that matches their intent, um, so that they go, aha, this is the right place for me, right? Um, because traffic alone doesn't do that. Because, and I think I mentioned that briefly in the presentation. You can get somebody to your website, but unless your website is answering their questions, it's nothing's going to happen. And I really love Benjamin's approach to asking all those questions about uh, to a new client, because that's what I've been writing commercially and advertising for more years than Benjamin's probably been alive. And that is what you do. You find out about your customer, your client, so that you can write the appropriate information to reach their clients. And without asking questions and just saying, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, doesn't solve anything. It just, it's a mental exercise.
Taking action without any thinking is not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And I often said to my clients, the one who wants more traffic, I said, okay, you want more traffic, but do you think the next user that will visit your page, this one or this one, do you think they will find out what they are looking for? And inevitably, the answer is no, or I don't know. Maybe we could upgrade that. Maybe we could improve that. Because most of most of business owners um, have are, have not the internet thoughts. They think that the reality and the web are the same. And the reality, the web, uh, reality need to be translated into the web, but in a different way. And the way we structure the content in a web page, the way we structure our title, our sentences, have a meaning and must have a meaning, must reflect a real purpose of businesses and not just being just a content that is published to please everyone.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And I think if you said to somebody where things are placed in a shop, how the price tags are put on, and what the price tags and the information tags say, it's hugely important, and it's exactly the same with your web page.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Wonderful. So from an agency point of view, I mean, one thing that I see with the agencies we work with at Kalicube is that there's a huge problem with shifting away from the current processes, because the whole business model is built on the current process. And I don't really see a way for agencies to get away from that, to say, let's try implementing let's shift the process and change focus. It's very easy to measure site speed. It's very easy to create long lists of keywords and generate content and push out articles. Any ideas there, Benjamin, or Zara for that matter, of how agencies might start to make that shift? It's going to take time.
Yes, of course. Undebatably, because we work too long with the same search model, keywords linking, or the tripod of SEO, technical SEO, content, and link building. And yes, you are right. We need time to make this shift, and I think it is some people that are relevant to the community, to the SEO community, to digital marketing in general, must proceed to a teeny learning to agency in order to make things move on and that the shifts happen. Because I see it in France, in French community. Not too much people knows about entities. Not too much French SEO talk about entities, knowledge panel, knowledge graph, and it's all about those subjects are all the concern of US market, UK market, or some other European country like is Europe extra. And I've seen that in France, we don't talk too much about that. And I think it's also a cultural issue. And I know that in France, especially on Twitter, some SEO talk about the difference there is between the maturity in SEO for UK markets and the maturity of US. And it's a bit of competition, and you show your muscle, and you argue that you are better than the US, or you are better than the UK. But if you step back, you see that yes, some culture from certain country have more difficulty to have this shift from the old SEO, the past SEO, the past search to the new search. And the new search, entity. We talk about entity, and search engine talk about entity for 20 years, but in some community, it is still difficult to argue about that because it is not relevant. And why focus on something new while if I put some keywords in my page still rank? Why should I be concerned about entities and knowledge panel and knowledge graph? My keywords are enough. So I will do keyword research. I will put keywords in my page, and I will do some link building, create a fake link in forum, in blog, etc. Blah blah blah. Okay, yes, it's still relevant, but what's next? What in the 5 next year? What in the next year? What in the 2 next year? This will be not enough. And it starts to be not enough.
Right.
Because some brands, some company work different, and they trust all the position. They have knowledge panel, they have schema, they have a YouTube channel, they have a whole social media plan, and there are still plenty of small company that still think that there is only keywords and there is only this way, and this way, because a lot of professional are still doing this way and promote this way.
Right. No, 100%. And it's a huge problem in,
And
in the agency world not moving forwards. And we actually at Kalicube, we catch a lot of clients who have been hugely disappointed and burnt by the strategies that have been put in place like that. We've recently done a case study on Merci Facteur, and Robin Bordet was struggling with this exact problem and came to us, and it was very difficult to get him on board with the idea. We're not looking at keywords and links. We're looking at, as you said, authorities, entities, and building your place, your digital ecosystem, so that Google understands and that your audience gets the right message consistently across the entire digital ecosystem, right down the funnel. And it worked really, really well. With the case study is absolutely delightful. Robin now is an absolute convert, and he's doing a wonderful job. Zara, what are your thoughts about that? You don't know much.
Well, I was just thinking about the same thing. Is that it's really hard for agencies because they say, well, we always report on the keywords and the keyword matching and how this works, and so it's hard for agencies who have a pattern of reporting. That's why I really wanted Benjamin here today. It's really hard for them to start thinking about new ways of interacting with their clients and helping them understand what are the things you should really be looking for in on your website that are going to impact how your site visitors relate to your business. And it isn't about keywords anymore. And so it's really tough, I think, for a lot of agencies because they have this whole system in place and they have a way to report, the keywords, and yet they're actually missing the mark with their clients because they're not helping their clients understand about building authority and what that really means in this new way that search works, where it's vectors and assigned weights and things like that, and which is harder to explain, but that so it's two things. The agency has to think about, how are we going to do this shift, and how are we going to educate our clients about what this means and why this is important, and why long lists of keywords and what they're doing, and are they matching, what's the intent, how that shift is changing. I think it's an important requirement for those of us who work helping businesses with their online presence. It's really important for us to educate them.
Yeah, I find it incredibly ironic that as an agency, Kalicube, we approach this whole thing by saying there are three things: branding, marketing, and SEO. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a brand, you've got nothing to market. If you've got no marketing materials, you can't sell to anybody. And if you've got no marketing materials, you can't communicate with Google. And that's business. Branding and marketing is business. And it's ironic that I have to convince business leaders to do business and to put business first.
It is, isn't it?
It's a terrible irony, but we'll get there. So what I like about what's coming, and I'd love your thoughts on this, Benjamin, is we're moving back to the 90s, to when business was business and the internet wasn't this magic bullet that solved all our problems in 2 days. What do you think of that, Benjamin?
Well, I think you're right, and I think the trends that agency are still in walk them away from being empathy, from being curious and have human skills. They lack human skills to be curious, to be empathetic, to ask the right question, and they lack all of this kind of stuff that is important today to make a tiny websites a big brand, even if there is only 3 employees in the industry. It doesn't matter that you have big brand, you have thousands and thousands of workers within it. But if you can implement human skills in your SEO skills and in your marketing skills, it will be great because you mixed up all the elements that will make a brand. Technically, emotionally, you have the right content to the right public. You have the right word. You use le mot juste, Zara. And yeah, all these elements are fundamental to make a teeny website a brand. And today there is teeny websites, a lot of them, and there is one big brain that are understood for a long time that there is not only one way to to please people, and they work on that for a long time, and that's why some brands, some websites still rank for a long time, and any updates from Google or Bing or any search engine you want, they stick to their ranking. They stick to their visibility and can move them because they understood that there is no point doing only SEO. There are no points of doing only content marketing, and you have to take this and you take this and you mixed up all of these things with your context in mind, with your business context in mind, with the people you work with, to understand the purpose of your business. And after that, you can move on and you can build brick after brick, discoverability, authority, trust, extra.
Brilliant. Yeah, so brand plus marketing gives you a great business, and if you can build SEO into that, it's a huge bonus. Zara, what are your closing thoughts? We're coming towards the end now.
Oh, and I'm just like, we all have to be aware of this shift and keep it in mind. And I think one of our biggest challenges is educating our clients on the shift, what it means, and a shift in thinking and what the focus is when you're creating information for a website.
Brilliant. Wonderful. And Benjamin, your final thoughts on all this?
It's kind of the same as Zara, but yeah, I would say that we don't have to fear to change as a practitioner, as content writer, like Zara, as SEO practitioner, as CEO of agency. We don't have to fear the change. We don't have to fear to think different, to have a different thoughts of the market. Oh, nice cat.
So we don't need to fear. We need to think differently and embrace the future.
Yeah, exactly. We need to embrace the change in order to move on.
Thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Zara. That was absolutely delightful.
Thank you.
We're Kalicube, and this was a Kalicube Tuesday special because Zara really wanted to share her insights, and she wanted Benjamin to share his insights alongside her. Thank you both very much. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Kalicube. It's all about your brand SERP.